Hi, my name is Antonio, but you can say me tlatoani. Today I will tell you a little about the Mexican charros, the most representative symbol of Mexico. So, let's get started.
The word charro was originally used to identify people from Salamanca, Spain. This nickname was assigned to the original villagers in a place known as Campo Charro. In Mexico, this nickname was given to horsemen and ranchers. The history of the Mexican charro dates back to the early stages of the colony. During the conquest of the Spaniards, horses were introduced to the American continent. In the viceroyalty, the indigenous people were prohibited from riding or even having horses, but because the livestock it was necessary to use horsemen, who eventually became known as charros. The charros used the riata to carry out livestock activities, which led them to modify the saddle that the Spaniards had brought. The saddle used by Mexican charros surpasses its predecessor of Spanish origin and the saddle of Arab origin. The acrobatics performed by charros are known as suertes.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente, con una pasión tan fuerte. Ay, 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 ahora sigo cantando y sigo gozando.
The jacket and pants originating in Salamanca were adopted by the Mexican charros but were modified and adorned with buttons and embroidery. The original hat was similar to the one used by the Spaniards in the bullring. The Spanish spurs also were still adopted. The Spanish ajones became chaparreras. The Spanish blanket became the zarape and the jorongo.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente.
In other words, the Mexican charro garments originate in Spain but are decorated and adapted to the Mexican fashion taste, because the charros hate the Spaniards for disrespecting the Mexican people. The charro is noble, loyal, and brave to the point of the recklessness. He likes to play with his life. He is hospitable and sentimental. He likes to sing and dance with joy as if it were his last day. In 1861, during the government of Benito Juárez, the charros volunteered as an auxiliary army in charge of robbers as well as helping the local police. The charros' weapons were the riata, the machete, the carbine, the spear, and the gun. Since the charros began to have more power than the army and the police, there began to be abuses of authority. This divided the charros, creating two sides. the silver charros who had money and lands and defend the innocent, the charros chinacos who offered their service to the government. During the Mexican Revolution of 1910, both sides came together again, and together with the Mexican people, they fought against the dictatorship of Porfirio Diaz. The Mexican charros has been, is, and will be the symbolic representation of Mexicans.